Hey, it's me, ABSD, and welcome to the Inner Dialogue podcast. I'm in a different location tonight. Woo-hoo! It's 3:36 p.m. I got off work 36 minutes ago, and it's a Friday, April 26th. This is the first week that I've worked 5 days at my job because I worked overtime today, which by the end of today, I was ready to go home. The last 2 weeks that I've been working, I've worked Monday through Thursday, and working 5 days is different. Y'all, why do we not have a 4-day work week? That is absolutely bonkers to me. Now that I've worked a 4-day work week, why would I want to work a 5-day work week? What? I have the opportunity to work Fridays if I want overtime hours, or I have a vacation coming up, and so working some of those hours so that I can maintain my income, which is great because I am nannying for a family. I don't know if I've said that yet in this space since I started my job 2 weeks ago. This was actually the end of my 3rd week. 3 weeks ago. Wow, time has really gone by in a fucking blink of an eye. So I'm in a different environment today, and I'm on my porch with the door open to the outside. So you may hear some cars going by. Actually, you will hear cars going by. You will hear potentially dogs barking or birds in the background. But this is where I am today. And I'm excited to be high philosophizing tonight. I found recently, yesterday I was going through old TikToks of mine, and I've been calling myself ABSD since July of 2022 when I opened my travel agency. ABSD started to be, but I didn't understand why. No, I didn't understand what it was leading to being me. I am ABSD. That's my name. I consider that my first name now. When I'm filling out forms, that's what I consider my first name, unless it's a legal document. Because my legal name is Alyssa Barker Sweeney Deloach. That's why I go by ABSD. But my social movement is also called ABSD because it's an acronym for a better standard direction. That came to me from the universe over a year ago, and I have been learning how to integrate that into what it is. I've gone through lots of different ideas about it, and some I've shared in here, some I haven't, here meeting my podcast. And now that my podcast is 3 days away from being a year old, can we just take a moment of appreciation for me continuing to grow through this podcast? My cousin Kara, who all of you know because she's been on the podcast twice, really awesome human. Go check out her episodes if you haven't. It's really an awesome conversation, both of them. One of them is just me and her. Another is me, her, and our friend Stacy, who I met through Kara. Awesome human also. Kara was telling me that in the podcasting world, it's a stark statistic, and I don't want to get it wrong, but most podcasts, like 40% of podcasts or more, I don't remember the statistic, do not quote me on this. Kara may chime in and tell me the actual statistic. Check the comments, who knows? But 40% of podcasts don't make it past 3 episodes. And this is my 49th episode. And when we become a year old, I will have recorded 49 episodes. That is absolutely bonkers, and I'm so proud of myself. A year of my life is encompassed in the podcast. It's so cool. I was sitting here philosophizing, and I thought it might be fun to bring in the podcast for it, because high philosophizing is something I started in July of 2022, but and then started into the podcast at the very beginning, but then had to work on my relationship with weed. And I had to realize that I don't have a dependency on weed like I thought that I did, but it has become a hobby of mine. Weed is a hobby of mine. And I enjoy smoking weed. And I know that there won't be my whole life every day that I smoke weed, because I know that anytime that I don't want to, or am in situations that I don't want to, plain simple, I guess, is that I don't have to, which I love. I love that. I love that. But today, if you haven't figured it out, by minute 5, I am high. And I might become higher as we go along. I haven't decided yet, because there was one episode that I did that I felt unsafe being high in this space, because I hadn't worked on my relationship with weed. But I think that my high philosophizing is where a lot of my best ideas come from. And I want to, I guess I need to preface this in saying that all of the things that I philosophize high are just that. They are something that is coming to my brain for the first time and being philosophized. And philosophizing is essentially thinking of new concepts and ideas and things that could be a way of seeing things differently. So philosophizing can be a really cool tool, because it's helped me come up with these big ideas that I've been able to turn into reality here in this life, but also given me ideas that have led me to the idea that I brought into my life, or that I want to bring into our future. I have been so afraid to sit in this space and just be ABSD in all sides of me. But I realize how important it is to see all sides of me, to understand ABSD as a concept, and to understand ABSD as I be who I am, because I will be the president of the United States in 2032. And this is a platform that I am using not only to develop my campaign, but also to help people know, like, and trust me, because I want you to know me. And once you get to know me, you're going to like and trust me. That just comes with knowing me and who I am as a person. Because this is my purpose on earth, is to be a leader that can help usher our world into the new world. I'm just the vessel. And I love that I get to be the vessel, because all of us are a vessel for our own soul and purpose in this lifetime. And that looks different for every single human. And I just love the uniqueness and authenticity and beauty of each soul. That is one of my greatest passions, is people, humans. Humans are my hyperfixation, and they have been my whole life. Learning about humans, learning about human experience, what life hands humans, what humans hands humans, what experiences break people, and what experiences build people up. I've been studying humans my whole life, along with communication. I went to college for communication and women and gender studies, and I had a lot of education on how to get out of some sticky situations that I got myself into. My street smarts are developed. And I live my life as a holistic person, as wholehearted every day, because I show up and I do the best that I can. And my best is enough, because I am enough. And some days my best falls short for other people, but I am still showing up the best that I know how to. And I'm going to smother myself in love, because I deserve grace and I deserve that love. And I am worthy of that love and I am worthy of that grace. And nothing about the choices I made are made out of ill intent. They are made out of love. People tend to say to me, "You are so positive." And yes, I am a generally positive person. I've always been optimistic. I've always been that way. But I don't think of the way that I live as positive because I don't just look at the positive. You have to look at both. I think of my life as looking through the lens of love. And I learned that from Brandon Foster. And I've developed it in my life ever since I learned that through his F Yes, Love Yourself, Love Your Life program. Changed my life. Changed my life. And I'm so grateful for that relationship because it helped. He was a vessel in my life to bring me to where I am, to be a stepping stone in my life. And utterly grateful for my mindset teachings and trainings and everything I gained from that experience. It also was not meant to me. So I had to give myself some love and leave that opportunity so that I could continue growing. I know when I need to leave something. And that's also a skill that I have developed. I don't stay somewhere longer than I need to because the universe guides me and I'm listening to the universe. I am walking forward into the unknown with blind faith that the universe is going to protect me, that my angels are going to protect me, and that I'm going to know what is best to do. Because I always know what's best to do because I am guided by this inner knowing, inner knowledge, higher self lens of love that I get to live out every day of my life because I am just me and I don't expect anything else from me. I'm just me. And I show up the way that I know how to show up. And if that means not showing up at all, some days that's not showing up at all some days. And that's okay because I'm a human and I'm allowed to live in all of my humanness and embody all of that. And that's where I want to be. It's what I want for all people, is to be able to live in that embodiment, to be just the beauty of themselves unapologetically. If it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt others, and it doesn't hurt our community, fuck yeah. What do you want to do? If you could do anything with your life, what would you do? Money, time, and commitment were no question. What would you do? Where would you go? If you could do anything with your life. What service would you put into the world? If you were given the opportunity to create some sort of service that you gifted to your community, what would your service be? I want to know. Let me know what you come up with. And I am in community with a lot of people who are doing this in their lives. So I think it would be really amazing if you also shared the passion that you're living out and the service that you're giving to the community. And also, if any of you want to be on my podcast and talk about your passions, that's what this podcast is all about. And I would love to have you. So hit me up. It's so special for me to have people in this space. And it has been a goal of mine to have one person every month on my podcast. And I need to make that goal. I guess I need to up that goal, which would be really cool to up level in that goal because February I had one, or January 1, February 1, March 2, and April I am going to have one, which is fun because I believe that actually falls on the first year anniversary and it's a guest episode and it's pretty freaking sweet the way that that worked out. Love that. Do you know how special you are? Do you know how special you are? How the people that love you want to love you wholly. And something that I've learned about love is that a lot of humans learn love with conditions. That's how we've learned love, that we have to be or show up a certain way in order to be loved fully. Of like, I don't like this part about you, but I love you anyway. But I'm going to put these conditions on this love. And that hurts. It hurts to be loved that way. But it is also love. And people who have lived to learn to love people with conditions don't know anything else. We don't know what we don't know. Until someone tells us that something exists that has never shown up in our ether before, we don't know that that exists. Think about babies. We have to introduce babies to everything. They don't know what they don't know. You have to introduce it to them. And that happens with humans too. We get so caught up in our norm and our little bubble that we live in, we forget that we're living on this huge ass planet called planet Earth, that we have the access to the whole planet to explore and see all of the beautiful intricacies that exist here in this time now in our lifetime. We have the resources, the technology to fly across the fucking world in a tin can in the air and to get there safely most of the time. And we spend this life, this opportunity, fighting with each other and loving with conditions and being so fucking terrified to be ourselves and so terrified that we don't have enough because we have to pay for our fucking human needs. It is mind-boggling to me that we live in a world that has as many resources as we do. And there are people who don't have food and don't have shelter. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. And it frustrates the hell out of me. And something that A Better Standard Direction is going to be working on over the next decade is creating root solutions for these big societal problems and helping our society realize that there's a new way. And the new way is a better standard direction. It's a better direction than we are heading in right now. We just have to pivot. We have to be willing to see it differently, to allow our ego to have some grace and to see ourselves and the others in the eyes of love and make our society and community see that there is a different way and a way that creates this abundant change and better life for all humans. And the most hopeful thing that I've ever experienced on this journey is that the universe keeps bringing people into my life that are exactly the people that I need to meet right now, who are going to help this happen, who want to see these changes happen, but also have felt overwhelmed about how to make these changes in our world. A silent movement is happening in our world right now that is just individual. There is a huge community in the world who is doing this work in their lives, and we are coming together. This movement is bringing this community together to have a collective voice and to be able to make changes now that are sustainable in this world and in this life so that we can live the benefits, but also the future generations of people that we already love so deeply and want in this world can also live the benefit. A better fucking standard direction. Maybe this will be the episode that announces it to the world. Who knows? We'll see when I actually launch A Better Standard Direction. This could be really fun to launch it with this episode. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. So it's April 26th. This episode won't post until June 30th, potentially. I believe that is the date of this. Wow. We've got a launch date, and it's 2 months from now. If this doesn't post on June 30th, that's the launch date. Oh, that's hilarious. I do think it might be the June 30th, though, because I had done the calculation out for a guest episode I was going to do that is rescheduled, which is great. And um do what was I saying? I need some water. Ooh. What's your favorite song right now? If you had to pick a favorite song that you've been listening to a lot this year so far, what's your favorite song? Mm. I'm going to play you mine. That sounds fun right now. It's interesting because it was actually the this was the second song that was added to my playlist this year, so that was early. It actually has a religious connotation, but I love it. It is Best Is Yet to Come by Ryan Stevenson. I've been known to take some punches. I'm no stranger to the fight. Spend some time down in the shadows, still adjusting to the light. I got some stories I could tell you, but I'm feelings on my sleeve. Yeah, that's me. Like the edge of a knife, like a break in the song, like a part of the song where the chills come on the edge of my seat, like a break in the clouds, like a part of the movie when it goes down. Some call it foolish, I call it faith. I can't see the future, I don't know what's up ahead. Can't see around the corner, I don't know what's coming next. I don't have all the answers, but I know it's not the end. All I know is this: the best is yet to come. And with the thunder, I've been stranger to surprise. Pull me under, so they broke her to the light. Some scars that I could show you, what I'm fighting, I believe. Yeah, that's me. Like the edge of a knife, like a break in the sun, like a part of the song where the chills come on the edge of my seat, like a break in the clouds, like a part of the movie when it goes down. Some call it foolish, I call it fate. I can't see the future, I don't know what's up ahead. Can't see around the corner, I don't know what's coming next. I don't have all the answers, but I know it's not the end. All I know is this: the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. 'Cause I know you're not done. The best is yet The best is yet to. All I know is I know you're not done. All I know is I know you're not done. All I know is I know you're not done. The best is yet to come. It goes on for another 40 seconds, but I promise you, if you listen to that song for a month, just whenever you feel like it, and you sing along, you are putting that into the universe that the best is yet to come. I can't see the future. I don't know what's up ahead. Can't see around the corner. I don't know what's coming next. I don't have all the answers. Something, something, something. But the best is yet to come. That's all I know, is that the best is yet to come. And I live my life with that perspective that I don't know. I don't know what's coming next, but I just know it's going to get it better. The best is yet to come. It's going to keep getting better and better because that is for the greatest good of all. My life has to be so tremendously abundant that money is no aspect of this question, of this work that I am doing. And the universe has said that they are bringing that in. And I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know how any of it is going to happen because how the fuck would I be able to predict that? But I know that the best is yet to come. And if the best is yet to come, then it's just going to keep getting better from here. And holy fucking shit, that's amazing because my life is already fucking great. I love my life. I love the life that I live. And truly, at this moment in time, no complaints. I don't complain very often. I process and then I move on. If it's on my mind, I process it because I know it's on my mind because I haven't processed it. And so it clears space for me to think about other shit, be productive in other ways. The last 3 days, the the grandparents have been in town. I don't know why I was calling them in-laws. The grandparents have been in town at the nanny family that I work at, and they're wonderful humans. But I've just expended more social energy than I normally do at work. And so during my breaks, I just was watching a new show on Hulu, and it's actually really interesting. Not sure if I would recommend it yet. Still, jury's still out, but it's an interesting show. It's called Extraordinary, I believe. And yeah, it's interesting. But I've just given myself the space to watch TV at work because I've expended a lot of social energy. And that was by choice, having conversations and putting myself in places where that did naturally happen because I am interested in learning about their lives, right? I was talking about earlier in this episode how my passion is people. I love learning about people's lives. People apologize for how much they tell me about themselves or about their lives, and I no apology is needed. Zero. Zero, because I love that shit. That shit fills my cup. But I also need to be able to come home and fill my own cup. The chiropractor and I were talking about it the other day that he was telling me about he loves his job and getting to talk with people, but he needs to have time to be an introvert at home. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I'm an introvert at heart, but an extrovert at love. And I realized that I never used to give myself the introverted self love that I needed. And I was only an extrovert because that's what I got praise and attention for in my life. And so I didn't give myself enough of the self love, and it would come out in different ways where I would something that I did as a growing up that I always did when I didn't know how to process my emotions because I didn't have the words or the space inside my own self to actually vocalize what was happening in my body. And I would move the furniture around my room. Constantly. Or I would sit in my closet. There was a ledge in my closet, and I would sit on it. And sometimes I would sit on the ground in the other corner. But I knew to never be too loud because there was a vent from my room into the living room. I had such big feelings and emotions as a kid and was labeled as dramatic. And I wasn't taught how to navigate my feelings. Brandon Foster taught me how to navigate my feelings and also navigate my mind, where I was able to calm the chaos down enough that I could begin to feel what was in my body. I believe that mindset training is the greatest gift that I have had on that helped me jump timelines for myself, because that changed my brain to be a to function in a way where it is always looking for something better, and it's not focused on this judgment and guilt and shame. And so much of that was learning how my brain worked. I had to learn the science behind how my brain worked before I could then change my mind, change the way my mind ran. I had to change my subconscious wiring, right? If you think about your brain as a computer system and all of the files that it has stored on it, you have to change the fucking hardwires. You have to unplug them and plug them back into somewhere else. And when I just had a serious connection issue, and not sure if I lost that whole podcast. 32 minutes. I guess we'll find out. I think this software is advanced enough that it would save that. I was having a connection issue. Interesting. It was on, the time was like 32:23 or 32:32, which is a number for me. And I was saying thank you in my head when it cut out. Interesting. Yeah. I really like the metaphor better of that we're walking down these pathways in our brain, and as we continue to walk down them, they get deeper and deeper. And so we have to stop walking down one pathway and walk down a new pathway, and that takes some intention and time, because it's not you're not flipping a switch. You're walking down this pathway and you're redefining a path in your brain, but the path already exists. You just haven't walked down it in a while, so you have to refine the path. It's like when you're hiking and there's a path underneath some brush, and you might have to refine and recut that path. Or it might be a path that you has been in your brain, but you've never walked down it. And that's going to take even longer to develop, but it's worth it. You get on the other side of it and it's so worth it. No doubt in my mind. A picture showed up on my phone from a year ago. A year ago, I was in Florida for a bachelorette party, and the pictures were me at Selby Gardens, Botanical Gardens. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. The pictures were gorgeous. There was this awesome exhibit, and I looked at that person and I thought about myself a year ago. Where was I last year in April? I was still within the first year of shaving my head. It had been 11 months. I hadn't cut my hair yet at all. At all. In a whole year is how long I waited until and after I shaved my head. And that means that we're coming up on 2 years in like a month, which is bonkers to think about. 2 years ago, I shaved my head, and that was really the first stone that I rolled down my mountain or I started to push up my mountain, I guess, of where my sexuality started being developed, my gender started being developed. And when I say started being developed, I mean in my conscious brain. It was always in there, but my conscious brain never felt safe enough to vocalize these two parts of me. And being pansexual, being non-binary, and having this label new in my life, both of them. And it's not a label I take lightly. It's a label that I have taken a lot of time and attention to figure out. And that's why I like having the label, because I had to take a long time to understand both of these two aspects of myself, and I'm still understanding both of them. And I know that it is a hard concept to understand if you are not someone who is inside the queer community, because before I understood it, I didn't understand it. And I had no idea that I didn't understand it to the extent that I don't understand it. I now have this new perspective and new openness inside of me that I understand in a deeper way. I was always an ally, but that's why they call them allies, because they're doing the best they can to understand and to be an ally for someone who is, and to just love. Like, god damn, love is so powerful. Well, thanks for joining me for High Philosophizing. I feel like I'm meant to end this conversation today, and it's either going to be a 40-minute conversation or a 5-minute conversation, depending on whether or not this actually cut out. Either way, I love you deeply, and I want you to know that you are an inspiration for this world. There are people in this world who are so proud of you. There are people in this world who love you. There are people in this world who know that you can do anything that your heart desires, who believe in you. And I hope you're one of them, because I'm one of them. Go out, love loudly, take up space, be awesome, and know that the world needs your unique gifts. They're yours and yours only. The world needs to see them. I love you. Bye, beautifuls.